Well, Wallace Sound, I think it's ambitious to put on something like that in Dallas because Dallas isn't particularly known for having festivals, and it's also not particularly known as being a hotbed for weird music or esoteric music or anything like that. So I think that it kind of gives Dallas a little bit of notoriety as far as that goes, as opposed to where all that would usually go to Austin or something like that. Which nothing wrong with Austin, but
I think festivals, the majority of festivals I've played in are in foreign countries, and I think the reason why people like going out to those is because it's reasonably cheap. You get to see a lot of bands. A lot of the ones in England, you camp out, so it's like an experience, like where there'd be tents all over this place, And so I guess that's kind of the idea for the fans to go, and that's the reason why they find it so important.
I think, I'm sure, it's always good to have, national acts and bands come and have more attention, but yet still have, local bands. I mean, ACL does that a lot where they'll have, huge bands, Bob Dylan, Crowded House, Bjork, but yet there's an obvious, amount of Austin bands there as well, and I think that's a cool thing where there's a good marriage of both, national and local musicians being a part of it.
Probably have to think about this one. I mean, good location right now, and it's good that local acts aren't at each other's throats trying to get these spots like ACL does it, where, they'll put a contest to put one local band, which is kind of, silly to me.
Prefer playing in clubs, I guess, just because I'm so used to it. And you get the intimacy of being inside with a smaller group of people. The energy is a lot more, palpable in a place like that. Although we played Coachella this last year, and I was pretty nervous, but I just kind of closed my eyes for a while and then looked up, and there's the mountains in the background and palm trees and people out, boyfriends and girlfriends holding each other, and it was a really beautiful scene. So I think it can be a really good show outdoors at a festival. It's just different. I'm not used to it as much.
I think that it's great that it's happening. So yeah, I'm happy it's happening. But common bond, the Paper Chase has never really ever felt a common bond with the bands from our scene because we don't pledge an allegiance to any scene. We just feel like we're sort of, a band from America. And you really start to feel that way whenever you go overseas. You've seen us overseas, obviously. And so we feel bonded to these bands because we obviously have that common experience of growing. But, musically, I don't think we share any bonds.
Yeah, it's easier. It's just a short drive. That's nice. But also, it is nice playing in Texas. I don't know what it is, but something about being here that makes me feel at home. So that's nice. That's madness to have a festival in Texas in the summer months. Yeah, exactly. Push it back a little bit. Like now, it's perfect. It's gorgeous, but people who are out here like 2 o'clock, oh my God,
My hope is that it will be well received because I'm sure they don't get that many artists coming out there to make records. I'm not the first, I'm sure, but my friends went on honeymoon there, John and Jamie Jones, and they said that they were just welcomed into people's homes so much. They barely had to do anything. They just walked around and met tribal leaders, or not tribal leaders, I don't know what exactly they know. My friend Matthew Hickey also went out there, and he said that he met someone who was a prince and stayed in the royal chambers, and he's actually one of the leads we're following because that guy's brother, the prince's brother, who's probably also a prince, teaches a gamelan school there. So
because I'm not trying to go make authentic Balinese music, another thing that's really influencing me right now is the way that a lot of African artists currently are approaching music, like the Congotronics release and the recent tour by Kanono #1, which is one of my favorite bands. Like their music is oftentimes protest music. It tells stories about what's happening in the Congo right now, but the way they sing it is a joyous kind of shouting. It has like an element of punk to it because there's a rebellious quality, the homemade instruments and everything. But I'm planning to go make a record full of like, you know, shouts and hollers and good times in Bali. Cyclical nature, because it kept starting over. It went and like the rhythm is very fast underneath it, like it just goes and goes and goes. It's actually a lot faster than that.